Welcome back to Jenna's Kitchen. It's almost Christmas time, and I know everybody's trying to get some last minute gifts, so today I have a couple ideas for if you have a baker in your life and you want to get them something special for Christmas. Let's get to it. The first thing that you're gonna need are oven mitts. Now, these are super duper cute, and I love these to death, but you also need some that you don't mind getting a little bit dirty. Like if I spilled cake batter on this, I might cry. It's so cute. So if you want to get them some oven mitts, get them some functional ones that can get a little bit dirty, and then get them some cute ones that they can just hang up for decoration because they're just that stinking cute. Like, look at the pineapples. I love it. Next thing are cookie scoops. Now these are two different sizes. These are mainly for muffins because you can scoop two and it's the exact perfect size, and these are for cupcakes. I would recommend getting them a couple different sizes, that way they can experiment and see which kind they like. But cookie scoops are always good because I know I love cookies. I always make some cookies. And these, getting multiple, that way you don't have to clean them all at one time. Next up are spatulas. I know I go through about 3 spatulas in a day with anything I make, so having multiple spatulas is always handy. And the same thing with these as the oven mitts. You want to get them some cute ones that they can have on display. Like in my videos, I'll have these in the background, and then I'll be using one of my pink ones to make stuff with. Because it's always good to have cute ones because they're fun and they're just cool to collect. And then they're the ones that you don't mind getting a little bit dirty. Like I have one that has been through so much. It's a trooper. It's seen all the dyes that you could possibly see. And these are just cute. The next thing on the list are measuring spoons and measuring cups. Personally, I prefer these metal ones because metal does not keep the germs in as much. With plastic, sometimes they can do that. The metal ones are just, they're great in every way possible. They just scoop exactly how much you need, and it's so satisfying when you just scrape it off and you have the perfect amount of sugar. It has every size you need, which I know is very difficult to find. Like, who would ever find half a tablespoon? You can't go to the store and find half a tablespoon scoop. With this, you can. It's great. And the grippies are the best invention ever. I love the grippies. Anytime you're baking, you're either gonna need spoons or cups. So the more you have, the better it is. Because I don't know how many times I've gone into the drawer looking for 1/4 of a cup and not been able to find it. With this, they all stay together, they all fit together, they even have a little ring that keeps them together. It's perfect. The next thing are whisks. Y'all know I love whisks so much because it gets all the lumps out. And when you're using whisks, you need different sizes, because this one I use for cake. This one I use for muffins, and this one I use for the oil mixture of the muffins. It's always good to have multiple sizes, that way they can pick from them and just get the exact size they need. And these, the best thing about them is I know with some whisks, when you wash them, they'll get water in this thing, and then when you're whisking, the water flies out, and it's the most annoying thing in the world, but these don't do that. Plus, they're like stainless steel, so they're really heavy duty and good quality, so they're not gonna break when you're whisking something, because I've had that happen to me before. These are the way to go. Plus, I'm sure there are also cute whisks out there because I've got a couple of those. But it's the exact same thing. You get functional ones and you get cute ones. Next up are these cooling racks. When you get something out of the oven, you need to put it on a different surface that's not the hot one they just came out of, because then it's going to keep cooking, it's going to get hard, and it's no bueno. Not at all. So you get these handy dandy little things. And for cookies, you can put parchment paper on them so the cookies don't fall through and get on the counter, because I've had that happen a couple of times. And these are good for cakes and everything, that way they don't fall through these cracks. Plus, this one's a tick bigger, so more cakes will fit on it. It's just up to you and what they need for their baking. It's a solid, it's a necessity that nobody really thinks about until you don't have enough of them when you're making bread. When you make 90 breads and you're like, oh no. It's always good to have plenty of these on hand. Another necessity they might not think they need as much of is parchment paper. It's always good to have some of this on hand, that way you can put it on a cookie sheet when you're baking something so it doesn't stick, makes cleanup so easy with these. Plus there are also white ones that make it look all pretty when you're taking pictures. But parchment paper, you know? It's a solid thing that people don't really think they need when baking, but when you realize that you have it, it's like, this is the best thing ever. This is my best friend in the entire world when making muffins and scones. It's a pastry cutter, and you use it to like cut the butter into the dough or cut the butter into the crumble. whatever you're gonna use it for, it is so handy. That way you don't have to like use a fork like my grandpa taught me and just like mash it into the butter and it takes 15 years. This takes like 5 minutes. You just cut the butter into it and it makes it so easy. You just get the stuff out with a knife. Be careful, because you want to be careful when you're cleaning the butter out of this. You can use a knife because these are kind of sharp because they are cutting the butter, but it is so helpful. And if you get this for them and they use it, they are not going to realize how much they needed this in their life until they have it. Another thing is this one doesn't, when you're cutting, it doesn't move, because I have another one and this part, the handle, turns. So when you're cutting, it flips back on you. This one doesn't. Get them on like this. The next item are these mixing bowls. Now you're like, they have mixing bowls. Why do they need these mixing bowls? These mixing bowls have silicone bottoms, so when you're whisking something, the bowl's not going to go all over the counter and like start rolling. It's going to stay, and it doesn't slip. It doesn't slip. So no matter what you're doing, unless you're trying to move the bowl, it's not going to move, which is so helpful when you're whisking something very aggressively because you're trying to get it done. These things don't move. They're perfect, and they are metal. Like the cups and spoons I said earlier, they don't attract as much bacteria, they don't keep it in there, so these are really helpful if they have a business and are trying to make like muffins or things. The way to go. Plus, some of them have tops, so if you make a little bit extra, you can just put a top on it, put it in the refrigerator. It's perfect. You can never have too many bowls, because I have 3 stacks of these, and sometimes I still run out. The next item are fun pans. Now I know this one doesn't look as much fun, but when you realize what it does, you're gonna need this in your life. It's a donut hole pan. So when you're making donuts, you don't have to cut the hole out. You can just make donut holes, and it's the greatest. I have a mini donut pan, like they're little tiny donuts, the cutest things ever. I have a whoopie pie pan, a donut pan. You can never have too many fun pans because you never know when you're gonna need something mini. I have a mini cheesecake pan, a mini Bundt Cake Pan, a mini donut pan. They're always good to have on hand. Plus, they're fun to just bake. Like, you want a mini donut, don't you? You know you want a mini donut. Fun pans are always a safe way to go, especially for me. Speaking of fun pans, here is a Bundt Cake Pan. Bundt cakes are really hot right now because you can get them from Nothing Bundt Cakes, and they're delicious. Highly recommend if you have not tried. But you can make them at home with a Bundt Cake Pan. And I think you need to get one with these in the center, because that way it highly resembles the Nothing Bundt Cake, because the ones that are just flat and they're just a solid cake, they just don't do it for me, you know? These do. They've got the little holes. They resemble the Nothing Bundt Cakes. And sometimes I overfill them a little bit so they've got a little dome on them. Cut it off, extra cake for you, you know? It's great. Plus, they might make you some Bundt cakes with this. Coming at you with another necessity are cookie sheets, jelly roll pans, whatever you want to call these. I never seem to have enough of these because one's always too small, one's always too big. I never have the right size. So if you get stacks, they have many different sizes that are perfect, because one I have for scones, because the scones like to spread out. I can't put them on the little pan, but the little pan I make little ramekins and put them in case they overflow. All pans have a use. So these are always a good thing to get. They're solid, they're something everybody always needs. And again, you can never have too many pans because somehow I managed to never have enough of these. But not least, if they have all of the things I've listed before, or they are like me and just like cute little novelty things that they can collect, are food ornaments. I have an unhealthy amount of these. I've collected them over the years and I'm still stashing up on my collection because it's a block of cheese and it's an ornament that you can put on your tree. The first one I got was the burger, and I blame my mom for this obsession because she got me the burger and I was like, this is the best thing ever. It's the cutest little ornament I've ever seen in my life. But the sad thing is I don't put them on my tree because I'm afraid they'll break. So they just sit in my room all year round. They are enjoyed by all year round, because when you walk into somebody's room and you see a French fry ornament sitting on their counter, you can't not ask. It's a great conversation starter, plus it's adorable. Like, it's fries. Fresh, hot French fries, you know? You gotta get the fresh, hot ones. The chocolate-covered strawberry is just cute. Like, it's adorable. It looks like a chocolate-covered strawberry. Just put them, if you want to, you can put them on your tree if you're adventurous, but personally, they just stay on my shelf all year round, so I can enjoy them all year round. Again, if they have all the things I mentioned before, get them these. If you think they would like these, even if they don't, get them these. They're so cute. I have an unhealthy obsession with them. That is all the recommendations I have for now. If y'all want to see a part 2 of this, comment that down below, and comment anything if you think I missed it, because I want to see what y'all think a baker needs in their lives. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to Jenna's Kitchen, and have a great day. Merry Christmas!